Hello, fellow YouTubers, truth seekers, and Mandela affected. I'm Darkwolf, and this is Darkwolf's Den. This is a Mandela Effect channel where we will discuss the scientific theories and ideas behind what could be causing the Mandela Effect. This is Mandela Effect Theory Series number 1, CERN. CERN is one of the leading theories in the Mandela Effect community. I heard it said recently that you either very much agree with this theory or you very much don't. There's really no middle ground to it. Before I get into the variants on this theory, I must first explain what the CERN, or Large Hadron Collider, is. The Large Hadron Collider is a system of rings used to get atomic particles, single atoms, to almost the speed of light before smashing them into each other. Their job, as they've stated, is to attempt to open parallel dimensions or doors to parallel planes of existence. So yes, I see how this could be a very viable theory. They have actually been quoted as saying this. Now, to clarify, CERN is not the only collider that exists in the world. There's a multitude of these across the globe. I by no means discount this theory, though I don't want to give it all the credit personally. They also have what is called a D-Wave computer at the CERN facility. Because this is another likely culprit for the Mandela Effect, I'll save the explanation for it in another video. If you would like to find out what the D-Wave computer is, please feel free to Google or YouTube that and any terms I might use that you don't understand. I go on to assume that anybody watching this channel already has a basic understanding of physics, quantum physics, or science in general. If you don't, that is quite okay. Again, please feel free to YouTube or Google any term you may or may not understand. The CERN theory has many variants. The first variant of the theory is that by smashing particles together at all, that certain anomalies like black holes and other things could be created, which is quite possible. If they were able to open up a doorway to another dimension or plane of existence, then it could be easy to see how things could be changed in our reality. Thus, you would have the Mandela Effect. The next theory concerning CERN is that because the magnets are at such high energy, that they can actually create fluidity within the bonds of reality and insert changes before it becomes resolidified again. This is another very interesting theory, and not one that I can discount, which we'll find later through the series that has a problem with all these theories, is they're not easy to discount. They all sound good, they all could be the culprit, or combinations of them could. But I digress. Back to CERN. A final variant on the CERN theory is that it's working in tandem with a D-Wave computer. This theory I will expand upon more in my next video in this series. If you have any questions, comments, or ideas, please feel free to share them below. I would love to hear what you have to say. Thank you for watching, and I hope you've enjoyed. Hello, fellow YouTubers, truth seekers, and Mandela affected. I'm Darkwolf, and this is Darkwolf's Den. This is Mandela Effect Theory Series, video number 2, D-Wave Computers. Before I get started, I must put as a disclaimer, this does cover quantum physics and deep physics ideas. If you do not understand terms that I do use in this, please feel free to YouTube or Google these terms, and you'll find a large plethora of information. Now, that said, let's continue. So, to explain this theory, or set of theories, I must first add some context and explain what a D-Wave computer is and what it does. According to its own creator, its goal is to connect to a similar reality in a parallel plane or parallel dimension and use both computers on both dimensions to do calculations simultaneously, thus making the 1 and the 0 appear at the same time. like the Schrodinger's cat experiment. Is it dead or alive? Well, at the moment, it's both. I would also like you to look into something called the double slit experiment. If you don't know what quantum physics is, this might give you a better understanding of the quantum world in general. The D-Wave computer runs off something called qubits, which are very, very, very specialized processors that are kept at super, super cold temperatures. What these are supposed to do is create a quantum entanglement between this reality and another one. Have to forgive me, I'm going by my notes here. I tried to write a script, but we all know how that goes, right? The idea is that by making these connections, the realities may be merging together, which could be causing the Mandela effect. So if two realities are connecting together at any point, it may cause a little bit of overlap between them, and we could have certain changes from one appear in another. Thus, we would have the Mandela effect, whether it be Berenstain becoming Berenstain, the Volvo logo from a circle to a male phallic symbol, or the variety of other changes we've seen. It is questioned whether or not these computers work at all because they fall into decoherence or ones and zeros in a binary form like normal computers would. I doubt that it doesn't work because of the simple fact that they've made multiple ones of these and they've sold them, and you usually don't sell something like that unless it actually does what it's supposed to do. One side note I would like to add, for each qubit is supposed to be the connector to another parallel reality. These computers are up to 2,048 qubits at the moment, at least that's what they tell us about. If you have more questions about CERN or the D-Wave computer especially, please check out Anthony Patch. He has a large series of videos on YouTube and has a show on what's called Truth Frequency Radio. He has a lot of information for that and is a good resource for ideas concerning that. I would also like to put out there, for anybody that doesn't know, this is a wonderful community to join. We have communities on Discord, a chatting app. We have a live stream show that comes on every Thursday night on Dr. Tarrin Lupo's channel. He covers a 4-hour live stream with various topics and panel guests. I would really suggest you check that out. There's also different YouTubers like Moneybag73, who adds a lot of Mendelism videos and keeps up with the recent changes. He has his own ideas about what's going on, as does most of the community, which is why I wanted to create this video series to bring everybody together and all the ideas that we have and see what resonates with who. Maybe we can find a way together to come up with a full solution. There's another one called Jinx Cat. She's an amazing video maker. She's an ex-journalist who makes Mandela Effect videos and is really working at finding the root cause of this. I've used a lot of her data in coming up with ideas. I really suggest you check her channel out. That's JYNX Jinx Cat. She does have a support group. If you're interested in joining that, definitely get a hold of her and she'll tell you how to do that. I'll try to put links in the description box. I can't promise that I will. I will try to. I'm kind of new at this, so bear with me. The Mandela Effect community is absolutely amazing, and I must give thanks to them for even giving me the courage to get out here and make these videos and put this series together. So that said, I hope everyone has enjoyed. I hope y'all have a wonderful morning, afternoon, day, evening, night, wherever it may be. And if you have any ideas, questions, or comments, please put them below. I would love to hear what other ideas or theories you have. Thank you so much for watching. Hello, fellow YouTubers, truth seekers, and Mandela affected. I'm Darkwolf, and this is Darkwolf's Den. This is Mandela Effect Theory Series video number 5. I will make this an addendum to the D-Wave video. I just heard an interesting theory that I'd like to expand upon. Somebody mentioned that the D-Wave computer, instead of pulling or causing bleed through from other parallel dimensions into this one, or pulling a dimension into this one, perhaps when we run calculations, we're pulling our dimension into theirs, where the correct answer would be. I like this idea. I really think that it's feasible. It would explain why there's so many shifts and so many different groups of individuals that experience Mandela effect shifts at different times, or Mandelisms at different times. It's something that I really like. A secondary idea to this theory is that it actually worked in another reality. In my earlier video, I spoke how this question where it actually worked in this reality or not, though my guess is that it did. The idea that maybe it did work in another parallel plane of existence or reality, and that it's actually affecting ours by causing a bleed through that we have nothing to do with. I like this idea a little bit better. I actually theorized this a little while back, but I don't like to put all my eggs into the D-Wave basket or the CERN basket. I like to keep an open mind and look for all the data sets before I settle on one final solution, which I haven't. I will later get into the theories that I have in later videos in the series. Anyway, this is just an addendum to the D-Wave theory. I hope everyone has enjoyed. Any ideas, discussions, theories you may have, comments, please put them below. I thank you for your time, and you have a wonderful night, morning, day, evening, wherever you may be. And remember, stay awake, everybody. Hello, fellow YouTubers, truth seekers, and Mandela affected. I'm Darkwolf, and this is Darkwolf's Den. This is a scientific theory Mandela effect channel that will cover the different ideas of what could be causing the Mandela effect. This is Mandela Theory Series number 3, Multiple Planes. Now, the reason I'm doing this video is a lot of the theories include the idea of multiple planes, parallel dimensions, or parallel worlds. I would like to cover exactly what that is. The idea in itself is that for every decision we make, or every choice, there's other versions of us in alternative realities that made the opposite choice, or choices, depending on what it was, and carried out that timeline and that path of life. In relation to the Mandela effect, if these multiple realities, or planes of existence, began to merge with each other, the subtle differences between them could be detected as Mandela effects or Mandelisms. This is the basis of a lot of theories that are presented in the ME community. I just wanted to give a brief explanation of what exactly the reference is, and ironically enough, it's not too far outside of the realm of reality as we know it. Theoretical physicists have began to personally include this in their theories from string theory and other theoretical physical ideas. So this isn't completely out of the realm of science, as crazy as it sounds. I personally believe it's very much possible that parallel universes could or do exist, and think it would explain a lot, like the multiple time glitches that we find, and glitches in the matrix, if you will, or other weird, strange anomalies that we find in our world, up to and including the Mandela effect. So that's all. I just wanted to give a brief explanation of what parallel worlds or parallel dimensions was. And if you have any ideas, suggestions, or theories, I would love to hear them below. Thank you so much for watching. This has been Darkwolf's Den. Stay awake. Hello, fellow YouTubers, truth seekers, and Mandela affected. I'm Darkwolf, and this is Darkwolf's Den. This is Mandela Effect Theory Series number 4, The Holographic Universe. For those that don't know, this is a scientific theory Mandela Effect channel where we try to discuss the ideas and theories behind what could be causing the Mandela Effect. If you don't believe in the Mandela Effect, please look it up. And please don't troll in the comments. That's just useless. Even though we all know it's going to happen. So, Mandela Effect Theory Series Video number 4, Holographic Universe. The Holographic Universe theory is the idea that we and everything around us is nothing more than a hologram, a game, digital concept. As computers become more and more advanced, we're running more and more simulations, like scientists running space models, universal models. We play flight simulator games, and we've even got games called The Sims, where we simulate real life. Now, to take that a step further, if another entity, whether it be a spiritual, an alien, or whatever flavor you'd like to choose, came up with a way to simulate a reality, do you think it's possible that maybe we're that reality? That everything around us is nothing more than a hologram that we can actually interact with and change with our own conscious thoughts? It's an intriguing reality, and I don't know. I'm kind of torn on it. I'm not going to say I like it, and I'm not going to say I don't. There's a lot of evidence to back this one up. You can go on YouTube and spend hours upon hours watching Glitch in the Matrix, time travel, anomaly videos, and if that's not enough, look at the Mandela effect. Something is changing reality itself, and if reality is that malleable, it being a hologram is a pretty good theory. I don't know. I do know that also, to back this up, the code of the universe found by physicists, and this can be looked up on YouTube or Google, the actual code of the universe happens to be error correcting computer code. So maybe we are in a hologram. Maybe it's all a game. Maybe we can, through meditation, prayer, or whatever word you'd like to use for wishful thinking, make reality bend to our will. Because maybe we are all literally just inside a game, a great big illusion, a hologram, a matrix. Now, the other thing I will say on this is, even if we are in a matrix, at least that gives reason for a creator. I don't back or disapprove of any religion or religious idea. I keep mine to myself. However, at least it does give room for a creator if it is a holographic universe. If we are a hologram, though, or a simulation on a computer of some type, of maybe a biological computer, I just hope the darn thing doesn't fry, because that's the end of us all. Anyway, that's the holographic theory. I hope everybody has enjoyed. If you like this idea, if you like this theory, if you'd like to build on it, expand on it, by all means, go ahead. We're here to learn. We're here to build on ideas and brainstorm and hopefully come up with the actual final conclusion. Thank you for watching. If you have any other ideas, comments, or suggestions, please leave them below. Enjoy and have a wonderful night, evening, day, morning, wherever you are. And remember, stay awake. Hello, fellow YouTubers, truth seekers, and Mandela affected. I'm Darkwolf, and this is Darkwolf's Den. I'd like to discuss another theory today. I'd like to discuss the idea that, and this is so morbid, I really wasn't looking forward to making this video at all. By the way, this is Mandela Effect Theory Series video number 6. This is discussing, did we die? Now, this is such a morbid idea, but I've heard it explained a couple different times. There's a channel named SMQ. I've heard it discussed in a couple chat rooms, including one I was in earlier. So I do have to cover this. The idea is presented that perhaps in a parallel reality, we died. For whatever reason, whether something happened, it was a war, it was an explosion, whether we died in our sleep, whether it's still happening, which could explain the various groups that keep arriving in this reality. I don't know. I don't really like this idea. It don't really resonate with me. But it is an idea to put out there, and it is an idea that has been put in the community, so I feel that I must discuss it under this. If we did die, then perhaps this is a backup reality, and our consciousness just shifted here. The evidence to back this up is the fact that there's multiple muscular skeleton and body changes. There's been multiple just the changes in general. We're 80,000 light years away from where we were before. I remember us being on the Sagittarius arm, so did Carl Sagan, by the way. But now we're on the Orion spur, which is about halfway to the galactic core instead of way out on the edge where nothing could find us. That was the whole claim for why we hadn't found alien life to begin with, is we were too far out. So this is really, really strange. It does explain a couple things. I don't know if it's the answer. I'll never say this is or is not till I'm sure of it. But it is a theory that's been presented in the community. If you think this could be true, if you want to build on this idea, feel free to run with it. If you have thoughts, ideas, questions, or comments about it, please leave them in the chat. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have anything else you'd like to add, like I said, leave it in chat. I hope everyone has a wonderful morning, evening, day, night, wherever you may be. And please remember, stay awake. Hello, fellow YouTubers, truth seekers, and Mandela affected. I'm Darkwolf, and this is Darkwolf's Den. This is Mandela Effect Theory Series video number 7, Error Correcting Code of the Universe. This is a theory built on, this is one of my own personal theories I may add, built on the holographic universe theory and perhaps even the D-Wave and CERN theories combined also. You'll see why momentarily. Many physicists have found that the code of the universe is actually computer error correcting code, which is pretty darn neat. So, upon thinking about this and relating it to the Mandela effect, I got to thinking if something, a catalyst, let's say CERN, mixed with the D-Wave capabilities put together, was able to stop the error correction for even a couple moments, insert a change, and then turn the error correction back on. Thus, it would look over these changes and see them as always being in history and would make it so, would correct it that way. Perhaps it does catch some of these changes and flips them back to what we know, thus the flip-flops of the Mandela effect. The only evidence I have to back this up is just the Mandela effect, flip-flops and Mandelisms themselves. And the fact that, again, physicists have found error-correcting code at the center of the core of the universe, the fabric, I should say, that makes up the universe. So I hope I articulated that in a way that could be understood. Anyway, my theory is, like I said, that somehow it got stopped, there was a change made, and it got restarted. And I think that if it's possible this was done, that there's probably scientists that have figured out a way to do this consistently. Thus, we keep seeing new effects and new changes. I don't think we're just finding things, because Mickey Mouse was a change that was found with the suspenders. Then look back a couple weeks later, and he suddenly has a tail. I also remember Curious George having a tail, and he does not. So we're seeing changes almost in real time, if not in real time. So it has to be something that's being controlled somewhere by somebody. That is my personal thought on that. I don't know if anybody likes this theory, agrees with this theory. If you do, please let me know in the comments below. I'm also open to disagreement. So if you don't think I'm right, please, by all means, let me know below. At least give me some evidence to back up your claim. I try to put evidence in my claims. I hope everybody's enjoyed this. Thank you for your time. I hope you're having a wonderful night, day, morning, evening, wherever you may be. And always remember, stay awake. Fellow YouTubers, truth seekers, and Mandela affected. I'm Darkwolf, and this is Darkwolf's Den. This is Mandela Effect Theory Series video number 8. Did Satan do this? So, the theory goes that somehow God has allowed Satan to change things in this reality, or the fallen angels, or demons, or some type of demonic entity. and has allowed things to be changed, including the Bible. This is what got the Christians on board. Now, I know a lot of y'all are saying, well, wait, this isn't scientific. No, it's not. But Christians have put forth a lot of theories, this being the leading one, so I thought I'd go ahead and cover it. This theory is intriguing to me because I can't discount it at all. And the reason I can't discount it is because a lot of the revelation seems to be adding up. It speaks of what's called a great deception, where even the very elect, or the most Christians, will be deceived. I never thought that could be possible until I started looking at the Mandela effect. It could be very possible. I mean, how could you not be deceived when your own Bible is changing right in front of you? It speaks of this around a whole lot of other signs that would come at the end times. One of these signs was the dying off of animals, 2/3 of the animals. The other was rivers running red, which we've seen both of a lot in the last couple of years. Another one of the signs is an astrological sign. And I can't remember exactly how it's worded, so I'm not going to try to pretend to paraphrase it or anything like that. But it basically speaks of a woman giving birth and her head crowned with stars. If you look into the sky, September 23rd of this year, the astrological alignment is perfect to have Jupiter coming out of the womb of Virgo, with Pleiades at her head, which would look like the 12 stars of the crown when you add 2 planets in it, which will also be there. So the timing is very intricate with the Mandela effect coming into play, that it could be fallen angels or Satan or demonic entities or whatever your flavor of choice. Like I said, I don't discount this theory. I honestly kind of like this theory. The Christians aren't exactly the ones to jump on a bandwagon with a whole lot of stuff. So even the fact that they're in this community and they're seeing changes in their own Bible, they're seeing things aren't right either, really, really tells me that there has to be something to this. I'm not 100% sure if it's Satan or some dark entity, although the Mandelisms don't point to it. It's a possibility. We can't rule it out, though we can't say this is it either. So if you guys think it's Satan, let me know. If you think it's the fallen angels or demons or none of the above or doesn't have anything to do with it at all, let me know in the comments below. I hope y'all have a wonderful night, day, evening, morning, wherever you may be. And remember, always stay awake, everybody. Hello, fellow YouTubers, truth seekers, and Mandela affected. I'm Darkwolf, and this is Darkwolf's Den. This is Mandela Effect Theory Series video number 9. Are the Mandela effects or Mandelisms actually parts of a coded message? So this is a theory that I came up with on my own at the very beginning when I first found out about the Mandela effect, and found that there were certain words and letters that were just completely missing or changed or what the case may be. Of course, my very first one was Berenstein, and that changed from an E to an A. So that's a prime example. And it made me wonder if there was some kind of message being sent across time to somebody who might be able to do something about it. Say a time traveler lost in a time loop or whatever the case may be. We'll speculate on ideas of who could be causing this later. But let's focus on the why it could be a message first, or why I think it could be a message. And I've actually had some backing on this in the community, so I hope y'all like it. If you disagree, that's fine. You're more than welcome to disagree. That's what this is about, is theorizing and coming up with a better idea if we can't come up with this, or if this is the one that fits. But I really feel good about this one. So let's see what we got to start with. First, we got specific letter changes. A lot of Mandela effects have noticed the S either dropping off or appearing. And this also deals with apostrophes, because some of the words have to have an apostrophe with the letter for it to make sense. So you also have apostrophes appearing and disappearing along with the words. And you have words changing, spelling changing insanely, like Fruit Loops from UI to double O. You have the he and they. So if I may make a conjecture about this particular one, I'm not debunking. I'm not a debunker by any means. Anybody who's watched my videos knows this. I try not to debunk. I try merely to lay logic to things. I remember the movie Field of Dreams. And I do remember that in the very first whispering scene, the voice says he. And at the end, towards the end of the movie, or the next time the voices speak, it says they. And at first it's referring to his father, and then the entire team coming, and then the entire group of people at the very end who would come see everything. So I remember both those being in the movie originally. I personally don't count it as a Mandela effect. However, it's accepted by the community, so I will keep it in this list just for the simple fact to show that even if this one isn't, there's a pile of evidence to prove that there's many more that are. We've got Luke to know. Like Luke, I am your father, to know I am your father, which sounds so horribly wrong to me. We have is and was. We have a and the, like a vampire, the vampire, for instance. We have word clusters like Sally Fields, you like me, you really like me. Change to right now, you like me. So we've got yeah, right, or you really, I'm sorry, you really to right now. So you've got full word changes, word clusters, letters, dashes. Oh, dashes like the Kit Kat or the Coca-Cola, which could even imply either a like coordinate system like hyphens, which we'll get to later, or the Morse code idea. Dashes appearing or disappearing, creating a Morse code effect and a message being sent that way. Though I'm not as big on this, but perhaps the message wasn't getting through, so another means was attempted. It's just a theory. What else do we have here? We have, the Volvo symbol. It's been changed to a male symbol. We'll get into why that might be important shortly. And if that wasn't enough, that's just pop culture movie references. Oh, that's not a whole lot of information to go on, correct? Well, that's correct. But there's a whole nother group of words that have been some annihilated, some changed, but a whole lot changed. And that's the Bible. I know you've heard me speak of this in other videos. The Bible changes are numerous. I was surprised when doing the research for this exactly how numerous these were. Like you've got the word couch replacing the word mat. The word matrix replacing womb. Bottles replacing wine skins. Aliens replacing foreign. In replacing on. Well, that's just a letter change. Well, that's a whole word. It might just be a letter that's changed, but that letter changed the entire word. Slay from shoe or show, like it speaks of, Jesus speaks of show my enemies to me. Now it says slay my enemies before me. So there's a change there. We have banks, which were the money exchangers. I remember the money exchangers being referenced in the KJV. It now says banks. How weird is that? Published to, or from preach the gospel, or the gospel will be preached in all lands to published in all lands. Published. How could it be published? How could they know about publishing in 1611? That wasn't invented for another couple hundred of years. So why would that be in the KJV 1611 original King James Bible? That does not make sense. We've also got from scroll to book. They used scrolls back then. Why would they speak of a book? Yes, books were known, don't get me wrong. But most of the references, if not all the references in the Bible, are scrolls. Why is it changed to books? From one to thing. I don't know the exact reference verse on that one, but one has been changed to thing. So as I look at this, now we went through the correlation differences. Let's take off one set of words. Let's take off the set of words that it originally was. And let's just look at the new words. We've got couch, matrix, bottles, wolf, alien, in, slay, banks, published books, thing. Then coupled with the no, was, stuff, it's almost like they're trying to send a message and we're finding the pieces out of order. If it is a message of some type, it's like it's a great big puzzle or codes, and we can only find parts of the code or parts of the data to put together. which makes the whole decoding everything a whole lot harder. Maybe we're not finding it in the right order. Maybe we're only finding certain pieces and not all of it. The speculations are endless, but if there's a cryptographer out there who can take this information and run with it, that's why I do these videos, is to put the information in the community, that maybe somebody else can hear it, get the idea, maybe take something they know or something they're good at, and expand upon it. Maybe we can come up with a full answer in the end. That's what this is. The purpose of these are. Another weird correlation I found is the Star Wars quote, from Luke, I am your father, to no, I am your father. Luke was taken out. It is interesting that there's changes in the Bible. And the word Luke is a verse or a book in the Bible. It is not the book that speaks of the Lion and the Lamb or anything, but it is a book in the Bible where Jesus speaks. Yes, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John all have Jesus speaking. However, it's still semi-significant, perhaps. I'm not saying it is, I'm not saying it ain't, but it could be. And the more I look at this, the more I find there's really a likelihood there's a message in this information. I don't understand why, I don't understand how, but could it be somehow, just for sake of conversation and argument, with specific letter changes, specific word changes, could somebody be trying to send a message to someone else through time? Whether it be, well, we'll get into the why and who shortly. I also found another weird correlation that I just could not explain. Words with very specific letter changes like Berenstein to Berenstain, E to an A. Liquefy to liquefy. I personally remember the I being in the word, now spelled Liquefy. That's strange to me. No, you just didn't know how to spell. You're just a bad speller. That's bad grammar. Well, that's funny because my spelling and grammar were top-notch and on par at the very top all through school and most of my life. I pride myself on knowledge and being able to spell and read the longer and more hard-to-understand words sometimes. But, I don't know how to spell just some words. The simple ones just baffle me, right? It's just confabulation. I can't buy that. There's too many of them. Not all the changes I agree with. I can't say they all affect me. But isn't it kind of the thing about the Mandela effect? That it doesn't affect everybody? Somebody respectfully disagreed with my last video, the Back to the Future video. And that's fine. That's absolutely fine. I'm glad they did. Because it goes to show that though they affect certain people, there are people that on the same comment thread that said it did affect them. Not to say that either person was wrong. Because I believe that it affected both groups. To me and a group of people out there remember one way, whereas not everybody, even Mandela affected, remember that way. It's one of the odd anomalies about this effect. One that I'm yet to find a way to explain. And one that I've got in the data that I'm going to work on. So, I'm starting to digress from my point. My point is, I really believe there's a message here. And like I said, liquefy I is changed to E. Berenstein E is changed to A. Well, okay, that don't really make any matches, right? You're right. So, definitely. I remember definitely. I can distinctly remember definitely. And that it doesn't make sense, finite, definitely. Yes, it does make sense. It does. But I remember definitely. Now it's definitely I to an A. Huh. Well, that's interesting. E to an A and I to an A. The A keeps popping up. Separate. I remember SEPERATE. It's now SEPARATE. Oh, yeah, I know I'm such a bad speller. There's such words I can't get right. Yet I can spell confabulation without a problem. How interesting is that? I don't confabulate any letters in the word confabulation, but just certain words I confabulate letters in. I randomly choose those words, right? I know that's a bit sarcastic. I don't think that's what's going on, confabulation or anything of that nature. I think there is something to this. But I brought those points up to say that the liquefy, the E, became a letter in there. Definitely, A became a letter. Separate, A became a letter. Berenstein, A became a letter. It's weird that this A keeps popping up, isn't it? Really strange. Well, if it is a coded message, wouldn't there need to be a key? Perhaps this is only part of the key. Because like I said, I don't think we have all the data yet. I really, really don't. And I don't think we're finding all the data sources in order. I think we're only finding bits and pieces at a time. And I think that what we are putting together is highly speculative, yes, but it's one of the most logical theories that I've been able to come up with so far. And it's one that I've been working on for quite a while. And the more I look into it, the more I work on it, the more correlations I'm able to find within the words, the letters, and then you can get into gematria, or the number system pertaining to the letters that have changed or the words that have changed. I don't have enough time on my hands to get the breakdowns of all those. I have thought about it, yes, not to an extent that I have all the data on it. If somebody out there would like to do this study, please, by all means, I ask you to take it up. Let us know what you find out. If you don't make a YouTube video about it, put some in the comments. But please, let us know what you find out if you take this on. We need to share information around the community and see if we can't figure out what's going on with this effect. And see if we can't find a solution as to why. So that would bring me to my last topic of this video. And I know it's taken a little while. I hope y'all enjoyed the long videos. I know I've been doing a lot of short ones lately, but now I'm able to expand it with the length of the videos and maybe even more data in them. And I'm going to try to access more data and give more specific examples as I go on. Of course, all these are Mandela effect specific examples. So, you know, verification outside of the Mandela effect is a little hard. This is for people that really truly believe in it and want to find a correlation within the actual data that we have so far. The data we have, like I said, with the letters and everything, I believe it correlates to a message. I believe there's a key in here hidden somewhere. And perhaps even like the Kit Kat. Somebody brought up earlier to me that the Kit Kat commercial used to be 3 for me, 2 for you. Well, that makes 5. My math is not the best. I'm not algebraically gifted as far as like higher levels of algebra, but I'm pretty sure I remember 3 plus 2 equaling 5. I haven't looked to find the old commercials. If somebody wants to do that, please, by all means. But 3 plus 2 is 5. The Kit Kat packs are 4. Now, how in the world does that make sense that the commercials used to be 3 and 2 is 5? That's kind of odd. So 5 to 4, along the key code idea, perhaps that's part of a key code. Move back 1. The 5th letter's E, Berenstein, and a couple others had E's in them that were changed. If we correlate those with other words, which again, I don't have the time to do, but if you want to list out these and try to correlate likenesses and differences or see if there's a code within them, please, I beg of you, take this on. If you're a cryptographer, here's you a new puzzle. If you're a geometrist, here's you something new to play with. Maybe you come up with something, maybe it's going to come out as garbled data. I don't know, but at least we can try. And that's all I ask is if you listen to these and if it clicks something in you, please try. If you're just listening to these because of curiosity, excellent. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you've opened your mind to the ideas that could or could not be. And I try to present my ideas with an unbiased point of view, why it could be or it could not be. I know I'm excited about this. And I'm postponing. So let's move on to the very last topic we have. Who or why could it be sending the message? So I've come up with a couple ideas of who or why it could be. It could be a time traveler. Well, if you go back to the past, and there's a lot of problem with the time travel theory, we wouldn't know it changed from the past now, and I'll get into that in a whole nother video. Besides that, it could be a time traveler from the past, or it could be somebody sending a message back from the future. Here's something that hasn't been looked at a lot at all. What if somebody in the future is trying to get our attention back here for whatever reason? If there is a reason, perhaps there's a message coded in the changes that they're being made. Interesting. And then there's the last one that I have. Perhaps a scientist has decided that they figured out how to make changes in reality, or want to send a message to somebody on the outside and try to tell us something without the mainstream or anybody else finding out. For only the clever ones to find out. I just got tongue-tied. Kind of like the cicada 3301, I believe it is, or whatever the number under it is. How they have the intricate number puzzles and the picture puzzles and whatnot. What if somebody's sending, a scientist, for instance, sending us a message for only the ones clever enough to figure it out to figure out? Why do I think it could be purposeful, say a scientist doing this, for instance? Well, look at some of the changes, like Mickey Mouse. He didn't have suspenders. All of a sudden, after everybody went looking and talking about it, there was something about his tail suddenly appearing. Now, that's kind of strange. Why would there be another Mickey Mouse one that close together, in effect? Unless somebody had heard it and was going back and trying to change things, or trying to fix up their foul-up. And I wonder about some of the letters, too. If it isn't code, perhaps somebody's trying to fix up foul-ups and screwing up horribly. They're not fixing anything at all, but just making things worse. This is, of course, speculation and theory. But it's one of, like I said, one of, if you want to count 2 or 3 on the time traveler idea, past and future, one of a couple ideas of who or why could be causing it. So we have motive, we have opportunity, if you consider it, and we have something going on clearly in effect. So if it is a message being sent back, if there is anybody who wants to help break this or take this information to another level, please, by all means, feel free to. I would love to hear from you. If you guys think this is a good theory, let me know. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. I try to put out videos pretty normally. I can't promise every day because I do have a lot of research to do on these. But I will try to put out videos with a good amount of evidence and a good amount of backup on either side for the pros or cons. So bear with me. I will update the channel pretty regularly. Please share it with your friends. If anybody's thinking about the why on this, or the cause, or the theories as to why, I absolutely think that's a wonderful idea. Make YouTube videos about it. Tell the world, tell the community. Let us all know. Share everything you can come up with. Because even the wildest idea could be the correct idea. You never know. No thought is wrong. I don't believe so. They're just different sides of looking at sometimes the exact same coin. You could have 8 or 9 different sides to look at it. So again, please like, subscribe. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you understood what my rambling was. I hope you've enjoyed my rambling and been able to put up with it thus far. If you're still sticking around, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you to everybody that has subscribed to the channel so far. It really means a lot to me that have subscribed to the channel so far. I'm getting a little tongue-tied here. Anyway, it really means a lot to me. I really, really appreciate it. It's what keeps us going. Make sure you like us again if you like this theory. If you think anything's to it. If you can come up with more evidence to back it or against it, by all means, post it in the comments. I'm not against changing my ideas. Now, I won't go in all the way and say this is confabulation. Oh, this is just wrong. You're right. You convinced me I'm wrong. No, if that is your intention, sorry. I'll never believe that. You can waste your time commenting. I doubt you're going to be very well received in the community. That said, thank you everybody for listening. I hope y'all have enjoyed this. I hope y'all have a very wonderful day, night, morning, evening, wherever you may be. And as always, please remember, stay awake. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.